So the Necromancer zombie strategy in BT 6 just got a very interesting buff, and actually this is something that I've tried before, but now I'm more excited to try it than ever, and especially if you do it right, this strategy I think can be very fun. So what I'm talking about is using the Prince of Darkness as your main DPS tower, and then the Prince of Darkness itself has a buff that he gives to other small tier 4 Necromancers, which is giving them extra damage. Now with the latest changes, this buff got increased from +1 to +3 damage. And on top of this, well, here comes Ezili. And if you guys don't know what Ezili does, her level 11 ability is essentially giving +50 pierce to all reanimated Bloons. So this is gonna get very interesting because we're gonna get the Prince of Darkness, a bunch of small Necromancers, and let's actually see if these guys are any good. See how we're gonna do with this round, and if we survive this one, we should have no issue surviving round 10, and then we can afford Ezili to start things off. And yeah, this is a very, let's go back to first, and yeah, this is a very interesting strategy because these two like different types of towers, they complement each other really well. So the Prince of Darkness is actually really good in just cleaning Bloons out, and Ezili, as you guys know, is well very good at dealing with Moab class Bloons. Now on top of this, Ezili herself did get some changes. It's actually very small, but I think it's going to be a very impactful change for the early game, and it's that essentially her level 6 and her level 8 got swapped. So essentially what this means is that Ezili's bonus damage to Moab class Bloons was previously at level 8 and now it is at level 6, and the reason why they did this is because of this early Moab around 40, because they want you to have Ezili do as much damage to a Moab as possible, and this is actually a really good change if you guys have used Ezili and know how she levels. Alright, so let's see how we do versus round 15. I think there's too many things that we can do besides buying the Monkey Sense, which is going to give this guy a little bit of extra range, so let's try that. I think we keep Ezili and Shranka, you know what, because we're probably going to be getting something like an Alchemist to buff our Necromancers, and probably like more Wizards in general. Let's see if this is going to work though. This is looking a lot better than last time. Yeah, okay, so we can hold off on those Alchemists for a while. And yeah, so one of the problems that you're going to have with this strategy is just avoiding it in general, because the Shimmer is 1.6k and then the Necromancer itself is $3,000, so that's a lot of money that you need to save. Oh, let's just use the level 3 ability. So Ezili's level 3 actually allows all your magic towers to attack purples besides stopping the regrow, and hopefully I wasn't too late with the ability. There we go, that's very nice. But yeah, once you get to the Shimmer and the Necromancer, the game actually stabilizes pretty well because those small little resummoned Bloons are really good, and something that they can do is they can pop all types of Bloons, which is one of the many great things about the zombie strategy and the resummoned Bloons. And we're doing really well with the cash, but as you guys are noticing, I'm still not buying the Shimmer and I'm not buying the Necromancer. This is just because I'm not exactly sure what's going to be happening in the next 3 rounds. It's going to get closer. We're going to need about 4.6k give or take. And that's exactly the reason why I'm not spending any cash, by the way. Let's try like this. Let's go on the last. Let's see if this is going to make any difference. And then we're going to macro back to first if necessary. We're really close to affording this. So what's the problem? It's just a bunch of yellows. Let's move the wizard back to first. And let's see if this is any better. Yeah, there we go. We just need a little bit of micro, it seems like. And now after this round, we should be able to defeat all these lead Bloons. And then, you know what? I think it's time to buy the Shimmer because we're going to be about there with the cash. Oh, that was really close with the green Bloon. But yes, we got. Okay, so let's buy the Shimmer. Bam. Necromancer. And there it is. There's the first one, actually. We're going to have a lot more of these guys. And now look at what's happening. Round 35 and we're not even budging. Can I move the spawn point like this? Actually, this feels a little bit better, and then I think we should go for something like a 3-2-0. I'm gonna go on the Alchemist. That should be fine for these early rounds. Yes, so look at these guys. Look at these resummoned Bloons. They're so good. Keep in mind, the party has not even started yet. Like, we have to get to the Prince of Darkness, then we buy a bunch more Necromancers, like an Alchemist, a Village, and stuff like that. This is gonna get really crazy. And honestly, in regards to the crosspath on this thing, I actually feel like the middle crosspath is a little bit better with the Wall of Fire, but we started with this because we needed it on the early rounds. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this, and actually round 40 is about to come out. All of our towers can see through obstacles, actually through this skull, but I'm gonna remove it anyways just to free up a little bit of space actually, and we can also fit something like, let's have the Village like this, give all these guys a little bit extra attack speed. And look at this thing, is she level, yes, she's level 6, and look at this thing with the new change. That's amazing. We defeat the Moab no problem, because previously she wouldn't be doing this extra damage and we wouldn't have that much extra damage to a Moab class Bloon. But you know what, from my previous experience, actually this guy, the Necromancer, can take down an entire Moab by himself, so I don't think we would have been that worried about the Moab anyways. And you know what, this Necromancer actually makes the game so easy once you buy it, because it's such a good cleanup power. Like, look at what's happening. It's round 45, we're just not doing anything. This guy's resummoning Bloons, he's getting all the credit into his graveyard for those Bloons. Well, actually not right now as I'm showing you guys, because the graveyard is getting drained. But yeah, it just makes the game so much easier. It's really good having this tower, guys. So look at this thing. Oh, wait a minute. Did I jinx it? That as I was talking about it? Nope, not exactly. No, we get the wait. How did the graveyard move itself back? How did the spawn point move itself back? Is this like some sort of a smart targeting that I'm missing? Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I vividly remember switching the spawn point like here, so I don't know how this thing changed towards the back, but I guess it's still fine. Maybe it's even better like this, honestly. All right, so let's see how this thing does versus 49. I mean, it should be able to wipe everything, no problem. Yeah, look at these summoned zombies. These resummoned guys are so good. Are you guys using this tower, by the way? It's such an underused, I think, underutilized tower, maybe for a good reason, because the Prince of Darkness kind of goes well into the ultra late game, but it's still a cleanup. Maybe it's just not a favorite among the community. This is like a really decent tower. Yes, look at this thing. So 54, is this 104 Necromancer Wizard going to defeat the whole round? Because Zeal is going to take care of the Moab class Bloons with this new extra damage, but we're going to need this guy to wipe out all the ceramics, because there's going to be a lot of ceramics on this one. So far, it seems to be holding on. A bunch more ceramics left at the back. No, absolutely no problem. There we go. That's really good. You know what? We're going to have the money for the Prince of Darkness right now, but I just want to see how it does versus these huge waves of ceramics on 55, and then we're going to buy it, because waves 1 through 3 are not going to be that big, but the 4th wave is going to be kind of a beefy one, at least a little bit beefier than the previous one. So let's see how it handles it, and yes, absolutely no problem. Alright, there we go. So let me get the Prince of Darkness, and once you buy this thing, the game becomes a lot easier. Actually, this is such a good tower that, you know, honestly, even in like the early rounds of free play, it is just not going to lose. That's how good of a tower it is. But obviously, there is a huge downside to this Prince of Darkness, and like these Necromancers in general, and it's the fact that these guys mainly work well onto single track maps. So if we're playing on anything that has like 2 tracks, this is not looking good, because those Bloons are not going to get resummoned on both tracks, and also probably you're gonna have to micro it, and that just makes this whole thing so much more annoying, actually. Yeah, let me see what the deal is with the spawn point. Let me have it like this. Yeah, so we get the spawn point moved, and then is it gonna like move itself back? I really don't get what happened previously, but yeah, let's just have it like this for a while. Oh, look at this thing. So look at what happens. It actually moved the spawn point back by itself. I don't understand why it's doing that. Like, is this some sort of an AI targeting where if the Bloons go past, it just automatically transfers the spawn point back? I really don't understand how this thing works. Yes, there we go. So we get level 11 on Zealy. So she increases the pierce of the reanimated Bloons by 50%. This goes for all of these guys. And does she have? No, there's no visual indicator for this. Yeah, so I guess you just have to remember it. And that's, you know, one of the reasons why people might not even know that this is like a thing in BTD6. Like, there's just no buff icon or a more detailed explanation of what's happening. But yeah, let's actually get one more wizard, and I think I'm gonna stop at 2. So let's go like, you know what, let's make this guy the Arcane Blast. And where is this guy's spawn point? Is it at the back as well? I feel like all 3 of these guys' spawn points are just here at the back. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that I remember this working is that if one Bloon pops into the range of all 3 of these wizards, only one of them is gonna get a charge into its graveyard, and that's why you're probably going to need, well, a lot of Bloons popping. And I'm not sure if there's like a priority in who gets the graveyard charge first, where it's the closest one or the strongest one, but basically the more wizards you have, the more Bloons that you're gonna need to get popping, and at a certain point it just doesn't make any sense just buying more and more necromancers. But one of the things that I wanted to do actually is just get an alchemist, which is gonna cover all of these guys, including Ezreal. Now this is gonna be a 4-1 alchemist, so let's just have it like this. The way that I wanted to handle this, and I wanted to try out this strategy, is just to let the zombies do as much damage as possible. And actually the way that I wanted to do that is by buying a damage amplifier. So yeah, all of these zombies, they get some extra damage. There's a million zombies getting spawned, and you know what works really well with just like a million projectiles? It is damage amplifying towers, like this one, like the super billis. So let me place a super bill, like it's in the range of the village, and I actually think I'm gonna go for something like this, like a 501. And now let's see how good the cleanup is gonna be. Something else that I wanted to try actually is I wanted to move back these spawn points a little bit towards the front for all 3 of these guys, just so we see how good the damage is. Like, can they clean up a free play by themselves? So let's have one of the spawn points, like, can I find the track? There we go, just like this. And so now no Bloons should be spawning from the back, and I think that this is gonna be a great gauge on how much damage these resummoned Bloons can do. Oh, that's actually probably the worst time, because we're seeing like CMGs. It's 85. Okay, so let me use a Zeal's level 10 ability then. Let's just get rid of these guys as fast as possible. We're gonna have ZMGs. It's gonna be 4 ZMGs, and we are probably gonna see how bad these guys are versus like these beefy Bloons. Or actually, wait a minute, is this the extra damage? I mean, the super bill is gonna go into action like right now as well. Oh, look at this thing. They're actually defending ZMG. This is getting interesting, guys. Wait a minute, this is actually getting getting interesting because these beefier balloons are popping only by using the zombie balloons. And I guess the super bill is helping out a little bit. I mean, let's be honest. Like, this is as unconventional of a strategy as it gets. Like, I don't think you guys see this way too often in your games. Alright, so one of the things that I wanted to do to test out the small balloons is just to see how good the necromancers, or I should say the 4th tier necromancers are by themselves. So I'm gonna move the spawn point on the Prince of Darkness towards the back, but I'm gonna keep the spawn point onto these guys here towards the front. And let's see how these resummoned balloons are doing. And this is gonna be very important because this is where we see the extra damage. And this is actually a little bit ridiculous, right? I mean, I know that Azili is dealing with the big balloons. We do have like +5 damage from the super bill, but like 2 necromancers are holding everything. Like, am I seeing correctly? Wait a minute, this buff is actually really good, it seems like. Look at this thing. Wait a minute, dude, are we onto something with this one? I mean, this is, I know that this was like a thing that Ninja Crew wanted you to do before because, well, the Prince of Darkness had a buff to other necromancers for a reason, but they're really leaning into it. Let me use the Hex. Actually, let's just try and get rid of these ZOMGs, and look at this thing. The small zombies actually clearing everything out. Alright, so can they deal with DDTs? DDTs are not exactly that strong, and I feel like the graveyard is getting, oh yeah, it's getting thinned out a little bit. Okay, so we need some new balloons getting spawned. Actually, no problem. Not as, oh, the DDTs leaked, let's be honest a little bit. I think they got picked up by the Prince of Darkness, but we still seem to be kind of handling these balloons. So yeah, once the graveyards go up a little bit, you can notice immediately because yeah, look at this thing. It's hovering between 400 and 500, and it's actually taking care of these small balloons. That is insane how good this is. Alright, so for this one, let's actually help with the ZOMGs. I'm gonna use the level 10 Azili, and then I guess the small balloons are just gonna taken care of by the undead zombies. I'm actually super surprised that this thing is working, guys. How in the world is this like keeping all of the balloons here towards the front? If we include the Prince of Darkness in the DPS, I know that we're gonna win, but I'm just super excited by seeing these small necromancers do the thing by themselves. Let's see how we do on 95. So 95 is just gonna be purely DDTs and small balloons, and it's just the small undead resummon balloons. So let's see if these guys can handle everything. Do we use Azili's level 10? I think we should. Yeah, let's just get a little bit of damage going. Oh, look at this thing. They're actually losing versus DDTs. Well, I don't want to say losing because we have the Prince of Darkness to pick it up at the back, but yeah, the balloons are definitely going through the small necromancers, but yeah, we're still holding on, guys. Alright, very interesting. I mean, $52,000 saved up. Look at the towers that we have on screen. What else do we do? Maybe like some more damage amplifiers, I guess. Maybe something like, oh, that's the wrong tower. Maybe something like this, like a glue storm, which is gonna be cross battle with the bottom crossbat. I think that this should be nice as well, right? Oh man, they're actually taking care of all these guys. Let me use the Moab Hex. Let's use the glue storm for the first time. Let's get some extra damage going to these ZOMGs. So with the super build, we're doing a lot of extra damage with these small balloons. Okay, so I actually want to chill with these guys. Let's not use the glue storm, but I am gonna use the level 10 Azili ability. We're not gonna have it for 98, and I know that, but I'm really hoping that these small balloons and the resummoned zombies are gonna take care of this one. So the graveyards are kind of empty because of the previous rounds. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the spawn points here at the back, and once we get the graveyards filled a little bit onto both of our guys, I'm gonna use the glue storm. So this one is in the 100, this one is at 0. We're not popping any balloons. Yeah, we need to get some damage going as soon as possible. This is why we need the Prince of Darkness, by the way. Oh, and look at this thing. So all of the pops are getting, well, we're getting a lot of balloons popping, but none of them are getting credit to this guy here towards the top right. So I don't know, this is actually not looking that good. I mean, the Prince of Darkness is gonna be the one that's carrying, but I think we used the glue storm right now. Let's see if this guy, oh, look at this thing. The pop just went instantly up to 500. Okay, so we are getting a lot of extra damage now. And are we actually holding the small balloons? I think the Prince of Darkness is gonna carry, by the way. I feel like the small zombies are actually doing a little bit of help as well, but it's probably the Prince of Darkness carrying this whole thing. I'm really curious to check the pops in a second. So yeah, let's just deal with 98. Yeah, the Prince of Darkness at 770,000 pops. Oh, let's just watch these ETs. I feel like we are gonna pop them. They seem to be popping on the small balloons as well. We did move the spawn points below, but yeah, we do take down a 99, and then round 100 we have 50k. So Azili is level, oh, if I spend all of the money, oh my god, we're like $8,000 short. No, this is not gonna work. All right, so we're just gonna need the extra damage to get going. Let me just check the pops onto the small ones as well. So 172, that's actually kind of good, I feel like, for a tier 4 tower. How about the other one? 200. Oh, look at these guys. So about 400k ish pops combined. I mean, honestly, within expectations. I know what is to be expected from this strategy because the zombies zombie balloons are usually cleanup. I restarted the round, by the way. Let me just move the spawn point while we have the graveyard, because the graveyard is not getting refilled. But from what we have left over from the previous round, let's just move the spawn point of all of our guys here towards the top, and let's see if this changes things. And I don't think it's that much different than last time, guys. I don't think that this is gonna work. Yeah, we're gonna need to just buy another tower that deals with this bad. Alright, so let's just do the good old-fashioned spike storms. But yeah, this strategy is pretty much within the expectations that I had for it. Honestly, if you get +1 or +3 damage, doesn't seem to, it seems to be good, but it doesn't seem to matter that much when it comes to these necromancers, because the majority of the work is still getting done by the Prince of Darkness, right? I mean, look at this guy's pops. I want to check his Zealie's pops as well when we're done with this, but yeah, it seems to be the Prince of Darkness carrying, and then these small guys are just out here helping out a little bit. Let's just use one more spike storm, just use the glue storm for one last time, and there it is. Let's just look at the pops. So 800k on the Prince of Darkness, 172, almost 173 on this guy on the right, and then I guess combined, yeah, about 400k pops on both of the small, the tier 4 necromancers. Zealie at 600k, and then this guy, the super villain, just popping some balloons with the shards as well, but the 160. So yeah, definitely a very interesting strategy. But until these small necromancer zombies find a way to actually pop Moab class balloons, yeah, this is just gonna be in the category of fun strategies. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.